if you're a business leader and you want to make the best of bad and the best of good in your workplace culture, productivity, and success of your company, this video can help you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 88, book review, The Power of Bad, part 1. Because this book review is going to take longer than it normally does. And I tried to do this looking at my phone and it was bad. So I've decided to reshoot this. I already have the points in mind, so I don't actually need a script. Let's start with this. The power of bad in an unemotional situation like money. Yes, impersonal money. Let's put it that way. Like money, as Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky have shown repeatedly and compellingly, we hate to lose about twice as much as we like to gain. But it gets far more than that. When we start talking about adding in emotional components, personal relationships, business relationships, that ratio, that effect of bad compared to an equivalent amount of good goes up to a ratio of more like 5 to 1. So the overall lesson you should take from this episode, please, is that if you want your company to be successful, one of the main things you can do, or more, let's make this more accurate, your relationships to be successful. And until the robots take over, all companies are about humans in relationships. If you think otherwise, if you think it's systems and humans are irrelevant, sorry, I can't agree. I understand Kaizen and that, but no. If the humans aren't working together well, if there isn't some sort of overall mission other than take home the money and backstab each other, I think a lot of you know the kind of culture I mean, because I'll be honest with you, I have in 35 years of working for other people at different times, witnessed very close to zero of the kind of positive workplace culture we always hear about in the business books, or we aspire to, the kind of thing that Daniel Pink talks about, results-only work environment, people begging to work at places. That's real, and it can be real. But the main thing we must do to make that happen as business leaders, as managers, as members of any team, is to minimize the bad and bite our lip as much as possible within what is necessary and practical. That is, don't always avoid bad, just understand that bad of any kind, negative feedback, obviously we can give it more or less appropriately, and we should give it more appropriately and as kindly as we can. However, if we give zero bad, then we as individuals, your personnel, you as the company leader cannot improve, because if all you ever hear is how great you are, then you're blind to what you could do better. So you need both, but the ratio needs to be approximately 4 or 5 to 1. And when you go to say something that you know you shouldn't, don't say it unless you basically have no choice. That is, if there's no practical way around saying this work is completely unacceptable, you did a terrible job, you can only say that and should only say that if it's true and there's no other way to say it. There's no other way to get that message across. All that said, the reverse is also true, or certain people, and we have all been this person, and that said, we have all seen people in companies that were utterly miserable, and when they go home sick, suddenly the whole workplace is better. That's how much the power of bad overwhelms the power of good. It compromises the collective intelligence of teams. It compromises the culture of your whole company to have 20% of the people being, swear warning, assholes, which is why in the book Scaling Up Excellence, which I praised recently, talks about the Knoll asshole rule, because it has that much of a negative effect on a team. And that negative effect has a compromising effect on all the work everybody does, no matter how Pollyanna they are. So outside of the absolute necessary bad feedback or non-positive or this could be done better type of feedback you can do, outside of that, which should still be in the 5-to-1 ratio. In other words, another swear warning, 1 aw shit for 4 or 5 attaboys, attagirls, is the best way to preserve your work culture in a positive way. And the research for this is overwhelming. And of course, if you know of Daniel Kahneman and loss aversion, you've seen it there. But remember, that's on the low end of the scale. That's when it's not impersonal, it's just money and no personal entanglements at all. It still has a power twice that of good, but it goes up to that 5 as it becomes more and more personal. And remember, if it's a work relationship or an intimate relationship, it's going to be a lot closer to the 4 or 5-to-1, the damage or harm a negative comment can do. So anytime you have to give negative feedback, keep that in mind. I can't go into enough detail during the length of this video to do all the details, and I'm going to fill in as many as I can in the next video, but I'm not going to do three videos on this topic or on this book. I would just highly recommend this book because it shows you the inevitable and overwhelming empirical evidence of how bad is, but also how to leverage bad, including loss aversion bonuses. That's my name for them, but it's not my idea. They talk about it in the book, where if you want to motivate your workers, instead of saying at the end of the year, if you've done well, we'll give you a 30% bonus on your wages or a $10,000 extra, whatever that bonus is. If instead you say, look, you have your 30% bonus, you have your $10,000 bonus, as long as you meet certain criteria by the end of the year, you will retain and not lose that bonus. That is the same bonus, but from a loss aversion frame. And in the book, they did this exact thing with factory workers, but factory workers are not. The same effect has been reproduced over and over and over again. Bad is stronger than good. Reinforcement does not work as well as punishment, but it also has its dark side. But if you say, look, this is beautifully framed. Look, we're going to give you a 30% bonus this year. Here are the criteria which you have to meet to retain that bonus. And if you don't, that will be deducted back off your check. So you've still got your baseline salary. That's as positive as you can get, and you will get more scientifically proven productivity out of somebody who feels like they're going to lose a bonus that they've already earned, that they stand to lose that, than giving them as a bonus exactly the same amount of money. So that's the overall message. Minimize negativity when you can, bring it up when you must. No assholes. Assholes should be fired. And if you're giving bonuses for performance, give it up front and deduct it as a loss if those performance criteria are not met. That's it for Crush It Club episode 88, book review, The Power of Bad, part 1. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.